What's up, everybody? My name is Ruben. I also go by Fleek. Today is going to be an awesome episode. I got three incredible people here, and we're going to talk about health, wellness, nutrition. We're going to talk about the foods we put in our body and why. And that's a long alarm. And applause.
Hey, you deserve it.
We deserve it.
Thank you. And they're awesome people. So I'm gonna swing the camera over to the other side of the table and let them introduce themselves, starting with my man on my right here. People know who you are.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ethan Ellisor. I'm a spiritual fitness coach, as well as health coach. I did have a gym, a personal gym that I operated at. It closed earlier this year, but I'm transitioning into other avenues of herbal remedies, exercise science, strength and nutrition, all those things, but making sure it correlates to spirituality, because I don't think you can tie one without the other.
Yeah, I love that.
Love it. I'm Elizabeth Joseph. I'm a naturopathic wellness practitioner, certified holistic nutrition specialist. I also am a college professor. I teach nutrition assessment and raw food at SWIHA in Tempe. I'm also an author and a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner student.
Nice. I did not know your author. That is so dope. That's incredible. I'm learning something new about you every time.
Oh, right. And colonics. I own my own colon hydrotherapy business in South Scottsdale.
We can't leave it out.
Okay.
Dope.
Yeah. Peace to the family. My name is Chef Leo, or my whole name is Leonardo Victory II. I'm a herbalist and I'm a chef by trade. So I always want to mix the health, with the science. So, we call it culinary nutritional arts.
Okay. Thank you. Let me give you guys a applause there. Thank you. So if we could start off, Leo, you brought some documents. So maybe we can just start off with the paper, the brochures, the information that you brought. You can explain what this is.
Yeah.
And then, because it sounds pretty important. You sent me a text. I have to apologize. I did not track my food and my intakes and my waters and stuff, but I still want to do that with you.
Okay.
And you can let us know why that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You can use your phone?
My phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to use my phone right now?
No, I want you to go to the group text.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically the papers that I handed out is all going to correlate. Mm-hmm. So this one right here, this is a standard American diet that most people be consuming, the SAD situation. So, just to let y'all know. So, for a breakfast for the typical person, it'd be 16 ounces of orange juice, some turkey bacon, eggs, pancakes. I'll just say 2 ounces of syrup, and most people be consuming about 3. And then, we got for lunch, McDonald's. If it's 2023 and people openly still eating like McDonald's, it's somewhere else. And then, we got a dinner coming, and dinner is going to be some baked chicken, mashed potatoes, corn, because, that's most people eating just corn, and 16 ounces of lemonade. So basically, these, you got it over there as well. So this is actually just showing like the nutrient content. So you can be eating something all day and still be deficient. So in the message that I sent, it's Sister Elizabeth, once again, I mean to put your business out there. Did you pull it up? Or can you pull it up?
Go ahead. Keep going.
For sure. And then, so then the other one is going to be nutritional benefits. So essential nutritional benefits, I said that wrong. So the minerals and vitamins we need for life, too often we don't get them in, and then we just run around in life like, okay, I'm eating, I'm drinking, and then you think you healthy until like you go get you a full blood panel and be like, okay, cool, this is low, and then this is low as well. Then we have nutrients depleted by medication. So the reason why that's great. The reason why like medication is not good for the long run for the typical person is because it depletes nutrients. And then what happens is you need side effects, whereas deplete more nutrients, and more nutrients is going down. And then like the last page is going to be talking about.
So you start taking medication and end up needing more medication for the medication?
Yeah, for sure. That's why you can grab the paper.
That does happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's kind of,
Definitely.
he's talking about more so just that it affects your nutrition. But we haven't even gotten into toxicity. So that's like a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
this episode is sponsored by Big Pharma. You know what I'm saying?
And then the last
I'm innocent.
page,
I'm innocent.
I got nothing to do with it. I'm just here. And then the last page was just talking about deficiencies that happen when we don't get the right amount of minerals and vitamins in.
Okay.
So then in the message, go ahead.
So I would like to put a link for this document. If someone clicks on the link underneath this video, we can share this information with them.
For sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you.
So the link that I sent y'all was, a powerful sister. And she was just telling me what she was consuming. Usually if I'm doing a consultation with somebody, I always tell them, like, I need to know exactly what you're consuming. This way, like, I know what's going on. It's better if they get a blood panel because you know, like, what's going on in the body. Typically, people be like, man, I'm good. I don't need to go to the doctor. And they end up falling out after they end up, they're trying to line more of the yard or something like that. So we try to tell people there is a place and time when you can go to the healthcare.
What type of healthcare institutions would you recommend, like going into like a naturopathic?
That's a segue into Elizabeth.
So I want to piggyback off of what he's talking about. So he's talking specifically just about nutrients and nutrient deficiency, but I have a sign which I'll give you so we can get a link for everybody at the end of this podcast.
Beautiful.
And I have a few infographics I've created. I'm just going to show you a little sneak peek of it. But what I've done is I've chosen the most popular fast food items. I have one for coffee drinks. I have Starbucks drinks on there. I have, what's the other one? The donut one.
Oh, Krispy Kreme or something.
The other one.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, yeah. I have Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and just the most popular items that people get. So the problem is not that you're deficient, right? That's one of the issues, is that you're so toxic. And unfortunately, a regular panel at a regular doctor is not going to show you any of that. I've had people that are generally overweight and they're like, my labs came back fine. But you got to understand is that the reference numbers that they're using at these allopathic, and when I say allopathic, I mean your regular conventional medical doctor.
Yeah.
The reference numbers that they're using are based on a really unhealthy population. So you can be pre-diabetic, which my father was. I reversed it, and he did, rather. I supported him in reversing it. And he was like, oh, yeah, I think I'm pre-diabetic. And I was like, what's your A1C? And I said, Dad, that's diabetes, because they have different reference numbers. Because the reason for that is they're not trained in disease reversal. I help people reverse disease, not find relief, not get a little better, not, oh, I feel better, not I'm managing my disease. No. I don't want to manage your symptoms. All cancers are completely reversible. We've known this since 1928. Whether you're terminally ill or not, dialysis, cancer, MS, autoimmune disease, all completely reversible. Neuropathy, helping people, a client reverse that right now. These things are all totally reversible. So you go to your regular doctor. They're not trained in that. They don't know anything about nutrition. They literally have no nutrition education. And because their plan is just to give you a pill, they can wait till the last minute. So it doesn't matter if your reference number gets to the worst thing, but it's in range, because when it's out of range, their plan is to just give you this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I would never recommend seeing an allopathic or regular doctor unless it's an emergency and you got shot or you're in a car accident and it's a life-threatening emergency. Yeah. But if you're going to a regular doctor for any type of chronic illness, they are likely not going to be able to help you. I've helped so many clients. They've spent hundreds of dollars on gastro specialists and they can't tell them anything. I had one woman, she was like, oh man, I spent hundreds of dollars on all these tests and the tests they're running are not relevant.
Yeah.
These tests are not relevant. So that's why I'm really happy I'm in this FDMP program, because the labs that I'm going to be able to run right now, we have a stool test kit at work, at my job, right? So I can test for things that are important, a gut map, to see how permeable your gut is, which it shouldn't be at all, right?
Yeah, because there's like a universe inside of us, an ecosystem. Yeah. Everything is alive.
Definitely. And that's why you can't separate spirituality from nutrition. You can't. It's impossible. Because when you do, that's when you end up with a very dysfunctional person. Because they're trying to separate who we truly are, which is a frequency light being. And they're trying to separate that from the physicality. But you can't, because you have to have the Holy Trinity. And so you have to have all parts of it in order for you to heal.
Yes.
And so a lot of times people like to separate the two, and that's totally false to how to go about it. We're frequency, and everything vibrates at a certain frequency. And if you measure the human body and you measure where we're at, we're free. We have different parts of our body that radiate at a different frequency. And based off that frequency is going to determine whether you get an illness, because all illnesses is a certain frequency. It's something that's not harmonizing in alliance with your cellular structure or an organ structure or a system that you have. So even your chakras operate at different frequencies. So, I mean, from the root chakra all the way to the crown chakra, it's different levels of frequency. And if you're not radiating at the right frequency, you fall out of alignment. And so the falling out of alignment can cause disease as well. And so I hate when people are like, no, I don't care about I just fix me. And you're like, just give me something that will blah, blah, blah. But you're not really working on the raising the vibration or raising the consciousness. I mean, we always talk about we're light beings and all this other stuff, but light has a vibration. Vibration has a frequency. And so we always have to resort back to a frequency in order for us to heal naturally.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Definitely, for sure. So if I'm trying to slim down, get some muscles, I should be eating a steak every night, right?
No. See, and that's protein, the crazy part.
Right? Get some protein.
That's the crazy part. People think this highly of protein. They think very high of protein. And when I went through a 33-day fast, and part of the reason why I went through a fast is because I was starting to have negative thoughts and I couldn't shake them. I couldn't shake these thoughts. And a lot of times what's going on up here has a lot to do with your gut. All right. Because there's a vagus nerve that connects your gut to your brain. It's one of the biggest nerves in your body. And if you're eating wrong, and we all kind of know this, we all know that if we eat something bad, we start getting the itis, we start feeling lethargic, we start feeling like cranky and stuff like that. So we innately know this without maybe consciously knowing it, you know? And so we kind of know this already. And so one of the things that I had to do in order for me to clear my thoughts and have clear thoughts was fast. I fasted for 33 days without eating. And it was a long time. But the crazy part though, I felt, I deadlift, I power lift. I used to be a power lifter. Right. And I hit a 600-pound deadlift, and I haven't hit that in like 5 years after my 8th day of not eating. What the research says is your hormones, your testosterone specifically, rises when you fast. And so that made sense because I was training like a madman while not eating, and that to the regular person doesn't make sense.
Were you doing juice or liquid?
At first I started off with fruit, but I found I wasn't even drinking.
So I was doing a fruit fast, not a liquid fast.
No, at first it was like the first maybe week I was just drinking only maybe half the jar of fruit, and then so I was like, why am I even drinking? I'm not even hardly drinking it because I had like all these jars in the refrigerator of half. And so after a week, I just kicked the juice and I just stuck with water and tea.
Awesome. Tea. Okay.
Yeah, water and tea.
Nice.
And so you got to have a level. I found out a lot of things in that process, but kind of circling back to what you were talking about as far as protein. Protein is overused, and a lot of times they get it from an acidic source. They get it from an acidic source, so it lowers your pH balance. And when you lower your pH balance, that makes you very susceptible to disease. Because if your pH balance goes lower, you start getting into an acidic state. You can develop acidosis. And so you have to buffer that, you need to eat more alkaline foods. You need to eat foods that are higher on the pH. And meat is not high on the pH. Meat is acidic. And by nature. By nature.
So this is organic or not? Because a lot of people like to be like, oh, but even organic, it's by nature, it's acidic. And you got to understand, to even talk about the spiritual side of it, you're consuming dead flesh. I know we like to call it bacon and turkey, but it is rotting. It is carcass. It is that is literally what it is. This is not a trick. That is literally, it is rotting flesh. That's like if you cut off my arm and ate it. That's why it has to be refrigerated, okay? Or you will die, right? What happens if you leave it out and eat old meat? You'll die, no big deal, right? It'll make you really sick. And then also you're consuming all of that energy that animal had, right? So you're consuming the torture, the stress, and you can look at that on a spiritual level or on the scientific level. Scientifically, hormones are released when you are afraid. Cortisol, okay, your stress hormones, just like when you're happy, you get dopamine, serotonin, right? So when you're upset, when you're in fear, there's chemical reactions happening in my body. Spiritually, you're consuming death, suffering, and torture. period.
Definitely.
And so removing those is always going to make you more spiritual, whether you're spiritual or not.
Yeah, it's going to naturally bring you to that side. And so like kind of going back to what you were talking about, like I don't consume much protein at all, but yet I have more muscle mass than most people. And I'm a lot stronger than most people, but yeah, I don't even care about my protein consumption.
There's sometimes body makes protein.
Exactly,
so you don't need to worry about it ever. Your body makes protein from amino acids.
Exactly, and I can recover faster than people.
My next question.
I can recover faster.
Yes.
And so I was ahead of you. I was ahead of you. I already knew my third eye was aligned. Yeah. So like I knew that you were going to bring that up, and so I was going to say, I recover faster. The reason why I recover faster is because of cellular regeneration. How fast I regenerate is a lot quicker than someone that eats meat because it takes so long for meat to process within the body. Yeah. Because I only eat one meal a day, I have roughly 21 hours, 22 hours for cell regeneration. And so that not only helps me build more muscle mass, but also helps me
look at him.
Nah, not to show off. It is what it is. But yeah, so I not only just regenerate as far as training, but I also I don't get sick. I don't have any deathly illnesses or anything like that. Like the most that typically happens to me, I might have like a runny nose, and I don't even constitute that as sickness because what we really think is sickness is actually a detox.
100%.
And we think my nose running, getting a fever, all the ailments that you get when you get sick that we quote being sick is actually a detox. That's all the forms of like, if you like you've had a fever, right? And when you have a fever, you naturally start sweating. What you're doing is you're actually detoxing through your skin, which is your second kidney. That's all you're really doing. You're detoxing. When you have a stuffy nose when you get sick, right? Yeah. All you're really doing is you're detoxing through the mucous membrane through your nose. That's all the things that you're really. When you get sick, you end up using the restroom, right? You either defecate or you urinate. That's your natural process to defecate. You're detoxing through your intestines. Defecate means poop. Sorry. Yeah. And then you're urinating, pee, and you're doing that through your kidneys. And so all those forms that you think are sickness is actually not sickness at all. It's your defense mechanism kicking in so that way you can purge whatever frequency, negative frequency or low frequency that you have within you, because you once again you have to go back to. It's a frequency.
It feels it's a lot, brother. So and all of your it feels like, the charge of money to get these, frequency, currency, money. How do we change our diet with our current financial situation? Yeah. Like, is it going to cost us more to eat of this lifestyle?
No.
Or does it?
I mean, my bad. Go ahead.
No. I'm actually setting that up for you.
Yeah, for sure. You're so funny. I want to touch back into what y'all was saying about the protein. Yeah. So the thing is, since we don't educate ourselves on anything, we literally go off what everybody else is saying. Like, man, where you gonna get your protein at? And I tell them, like, where you getting your selenium from? Where you getting your zinc from? Where you getting like your vitamin B9 and vitamin B6 and what they like? What are you talking about? Like, facts. This is what you need to focus on. If you just focus, on a little part of the protein, and on top of that, right? As far as people be like, is it a complete protein? Everything literally has like amino acids like collected together, and that's what makes a protein. Right. The typical person don't even know what protein is. You're like, you know what amino acid is? They like, no. You know what protein is? Yeah, it's in meat. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's the same type of thing.
Sorry. Well, no, I was going to say the animal doesn't focus on getting protein. You got gorillas, you got elephants that are just yoked. But yet they're not like, where's my protein at? I need to get they're not scavenging, the African plain looking for protein. There are animals that do, don't get me wrong, but we're not designed that way. And there's gorillas that are more yoked than I am, way more yoked than I am. But yet they have no concern about But yet we get our protein from a plant-based animal. We get our protein from a plant-based animal. But yet they're more yoked than us. Most people are consuming a lot more protein than what they should. and they're getting it from a third party. They're getting it from a cow. They're getting it from a pig.
It's cheap and affordable.
Yeah. And
But is it? Is it cheap?
Meat is more expensive, and you can ask anybody this. So when I do my lectures, I will always ask the audience, say, hey, what is considered healthy? And I will let them shout back answers. And I'll hear water, and eventually most people are gonna say fruits and vegetables. The most uneducated doctor who has a gut and smokes cigarettes is gonna tell you need fruits and vegetables. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the point is, what do we need that's healthy? Fruits and vegetables. And as I study the microbiome, all the data and all the research says the same thing. We can go deep into the different strains and the Akkermansia and the different strains of bacteria, but you don't need to do any of that shit. If you just eat more fruits and vegetables, less animal products, you are going to be in a much better state. And so let's talk about the cost, like you were saying. Is it more expensive? It can be if you want it to be. If you want convenience foods, yeah, the healthier convenience foods, which are going to be more processed, are more expensive. You're right. The healthier crackers I buy for my son that have 5 ingredients are way healthier than the Ritz that are GMO with gluten that are going to tear up your gut, okay? But guess what? Rice and beans, kale and celery are way cheaper than your steak.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
organic or not.
Yeah, especially if you're getting grade A.
Check for yourself when you get to the store. Fruits and vegetables are cheap. Rice and beans are cheap.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and this is to the seafood boil people. So if you check out on social media, people making these big old pots of seafood boil. It's like $200-$300 or something like that.
Right.
The snow crab is going for $17. Last time I checked. A pound, sometimes $35 a pound. Shrimp, $7 a pound. I'm like, hey, bro, go get you some grapes. $2.99, bro. That's too much, bro. I can't even afford that. Like, I was in the city. This is a real life thing, though. So my guy, he was eating some oodles and noodles. He's like, bro, I'm trying to get the healthy stuff, bro, but I can't afford it. Mm-hmm. Then he has some Dolce & Gabbana shoes in the corner. I'm like, yeah, bro, did I say $4.99? He's like, yeah, bro, people know me for this. I'm like, bro, but you eating poor, but you wearing rich. And brings me to another point. We need to start spending more money on the interior versus the exterior. Because if it failed up in here, everything goes bad.
That's right.
It's just like out there, it's a Corvette, for example. I seen like, dang, that's a nice car. But what if it had like a Honda engine in there? Would people still get it? No, they want the best engine up in there, which would be the Corvette engine. Mm-hmm. And here we're Corvette, Lamborghini, like Ferrari and all this, and then we putting the lowest quality fuel in us possible. And then on top of this, we live in a society of doing anything and then crying about it later. Like, yeah, go ahead and eat what you want to eat. I see you getting big, girl. Boy, you getting big over there.
Or you're eating, and they praise it. They praise it. They go, oh, man, you're eating great, man. Look at the bubble. And we're praising something negative.
Exactly. Then end up crying when they go to the hospital or funeral. And I'm like, what y'all crying for?
What happened? Exactly. What happened?
Exactly. Chris Rock mentioned, they said the saddest part of the funeral is going to the repast and them eat the same food to help put that person in the casket.
Yeah. And you know, I have a little bit different approach because I really like to have compassion for the general public because I really truly believe it is not your fault wherever you're at. We are not taught this information. That's why we're here on this podcast today. Your doctor, your teacher, your parents, and you do not have this information. It's not your fault. It's deliberately been kept from the public. That's why you haven't heard the name Dr. Max Gerson. That's why your eyes raised when I said all cancers are reversible. I've helped people reverse their cancer. Okay. I've helped people reverse diabetes multiple times with very simple, small changes, still enjoying their life, still eating foods that they love and like. It's not just salads and smoothies all day. Yes, I drink a smoothie every day, but it's not all that. And so keep in mind, we're fighting against a multi-billion, gazillion dollar industry. When was the last time you seen a commercial for broccoli? When? I'll wait. Never in your life you've seen a commercial for broccoli. 100%. Never in your life you've seen a commercial for broccoli or something healthy. Never. What do you see commercials for? They're advertising towards us, people of color, to Twinkies, fried chicken, and geared towards us. Popeyes. Okay, Popeyes and medication. Yeah. That's what you see commercials for. So it's not your fault if you don't know better. So do not feel bad like, oh, you should know better. The information's out there. I disagree. After COVID, there's a ton of censorship online. You can go online and find out, oh, you think the keto diet's healthy? Good luck. I had a client call me yesterday. Oh, I lost weight on keto. I have diarrhea. Yeah, because your colon's impacted because you don't have no fiber.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's systematic. It's very systematic. And you can't and that's why it's very vast when you deal with nutrition and health and fitness and things like that. You can't think of it very one-dimensional. If you think about it one-dimensional, you're going to miss the forest. You're going to miss the forest because you're too focused on one aspect of it. You're not taking into consideration, and we were talking about this before we start airing, is that the more you start digging into it, the more vast it becomes.
100%.
And so you have to focus on it's systematically what are they doing and how they're doing systematically. They're depleting soil. They're, blocking off the sun. They're blocking off the sun, and that's facts. I know you guys want to stay in that, put your head in the ground. That's cool and all.
Not conspiracy.
That's not conspiracy. I mean, you can look up in the sky. I have so many videos on my phone of just them spraying
chemtrails.
Yeah, the chemtrails, and I'm like, and I was talking about this years ago. I was talking about this in the Melanin Chronicles years ago. I do a Melanin Chronicles. Check it out. Gotcha. The Melanin Chronicles, and so yeah. We need an AR. That should be an AR. But they're blocking out the sun, and so what is that doing? That's blocking us out from source. That's our source. And so that's why I say it comes all the way to spirituality, because the sun right now, we're having solar storms right now. Right now, as I speak, there's a solar storm going on right now. That's Black people need to, or just people of color, period, need to catch it right now. We need to catch it. We need to catch that. So a solar storm is when the sun releases radiation. It releases radiation to the atmosphere, to Earth. That affects our frequency. Earth has a frequency of 7.83. We have the same that's why we got to combine both. Our alpha brainwave has a frequency of 7.83 as well. It's in harmony with the Earth. As Earth's frequency rises due to the frequency in accordance to the sun, our frequency rises. Our alpha brainwave rises along with it. And so it's in sync with each other. And that's why I say you got to go outside, because in order for you to charge your cell up, in order for you to maximize the melanin that you have, because melanin is not just something that makes your skin, colored. It's not just that. You can charge your melanin with solar energy. Solar energy turns into chemical energy inside the body. 100%. And when you get enough sun, you can charge, because all it's doing is when the sun hits your skin, because your skin is a solar panel. Your skin is a solar panel. And when the sun hits your skin, it ignites the cell and it excites the electrons within the cell, and that turns that into chemical energy within the body. And so we have to get sun. Like I said, right now on, was it 8th? Yeah, today's the 8th, right? Yeah, today's the 8th. And on the 13th, we're having another solar storm. People need to be outside, and they also need to be grounding, because what grounding does, when you ground, I'm not hogging, yeah? No, okay. All right. So when you ground yourself, what that does is that coats your cell. That creates because every cell is negatively charged. Each red blood cell is negatively charged. And so when you go outside and you put your feet on the ground, that creates a magnetic field on the red blood cells that you have. That causes it to repel against each other, so that way it doesn't stick. A lot of times, what we're suffering right now is from a lot of people suffering from blood clots, aneurysms, heart disease, and things of that nature, because of because their cells are coagulating, they're clotting up. They're clotting up because there's no magnetic field on the cell that repels each other. Because there's tons of cells running through your veins right now that repels. That's one. Yeah, that's not
McDonald's and just ground.
You can't make your body acidic. You can't make your body acidic too.
These are all different elements.
Yeah,
sure.
No, it's vast. It's vast. Like that's why I could touch on one thing. She can talk about something. She can talk about something else, and he could talk about something else. But it all correlates to the holistic. Holistic meaning its entirety, and not just one aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there a perfect type of diet or perfect fitness regimen or perfect detox? Like, what should a person be doing on a regular basis to maintain our spacesuits?
I don't think there's perfect. I don't think there's perfect.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't personally like to use that verbiage. I think it's going to be very overwhelming, and really I like to work with the individual, because everyone's different and everyone's starting in a different place. So for instance, where I'm at today and where he's at today in terms of eating one meal a day, I would never ask that of you if you're still eating fast food. It's too big of a leap. It's not practical, and it's not a realistic goal for you. And you're going to feel like you're failing, and you're going to be overwhelmed. So for me, it's baby steps. And that's why my book is called Progress, Not Perfection, because I can make small steps. So let's just say you're eating a typical American diet. You're having bacon and eggs for breakfast and orange juice. We're just going to start by upgrading those ingredients. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm not even going to say, okay, stop this. No. We're going to add in a smoothie every day, and then we're going to upgrade those ingredients. Okay, maybe instead of these eggs, maybe we'll just do organic eggs for a little while. Maybe that'll be the first thing we do. Then maybe we'll do like a chickpea scramble. Maybe you're doing coffee every day. I have a client who's on caffeine every day. We're trying to get her off the caffeine. I was like, okay, don't worry about cutting out coffee. She's doing it every day. Brew 2 pots. Brew a regular and brew a decaf. I want you to mix them this week, just so we're slowly taking you off the caffeine. For me to tell you to do a juice fast, would it be beneficial? Hell yeah, it would be beneficial. Would it be amazing for you? And would you accelerate all your healing? Of course you would. It would be fantastic. But guess what? I've done that. I've been there. I was doing drugs and did all the ecstasy, all the cocaine and drank. I'm very open about this for 10 years of my life. And then I jumped into raw vegan. I thought I was dying in the middle of the night because I was detoxing so intensely. I didn't have no coach I could call. That's what I do for my clients. So we're going to go through this really slowly. And really, in terms of like a perfect diet, like I said, I'm so happy to hear that they don't, agree with that verbiage either. But, really just, again, I just stick to eat more whole foods and eat more plants. It's really much simpler than that. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be 100% plant-based. If you're trying to reverse disease, that's completely different. There is no one that can reverse your cancer on animal foods, okay? But if we're talking about you're already healthy, you don't have any serious chronic illness like autoimmune or anything like that, we can make really small changes. And if you're just mostly plant-based, decrease your animal products 2 to 3 times a week. Not every day, because it takes 2 to 4 days to break down, okay? You're going to feel a lot better already, and that's going to lead to bigger changes over the course of weeks, months, and years.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You're going to feel that much better, and then you're going to be like, oh, maybe I will do a juice fast. And then, he didn't jump right into 1 meal a day. This didn't start here. I didn't start here. You know what I'm saying? Intermittent fasting. I do 64 ounces of smoothies every day. And I'm still improving. I've been doing research for my clients. I'm like, dang, I'm not getting enough leafy greens. Nobody's getting enough leafy greens. 75% of your smoothie, make it leafy greens. Or at least start with 50% leafy greens, because that's where all your nutrition is. You want to talk about all these vitamins and minerals that he got? Every single one is found in leafy greens. Yeah, all of them except for B12. That's the only thing that's missing, which is a bacteria. It doesn't come from animals.
Oh, talk to him.
Facts. Facts. Because that's the first thing they say if you're plant-based. Where's your B12? B12.
Yeah. It's a bacteria.
You can produce it in your gut. You can produce it in your gut.
Actually,
too.
yeah.
So, much props.
You got something to add to that? Like you.
No, for sure. Just start where you are. Like, that's the main thing. So coming from Indiana, everything dead and deep fried, like Popeyes, like literally everywhere you go. I'm trying.
Fried.
Yeah, but
she's
no, for sure. This is the real thing. Especially when you go into a family function, I literally have to bring my own dishes because I know the only thing gonna be there for me is water and potato chips. And I'm like, I'm
GMO
not
chips, probably.
Yeah, for sure, definitely GMO. Definitely.
Canola oil.
Yeah, for sure. So what I would do is just like be very intentional about what you're doing. So what I do is in the morning, I wake up, I do something like this. This right here is just some water, turmeric, black pepper, and just a little bit of cayenne pepper up in here as well, right? And then also I consume like 4 avocados a day. So 95% of people are not getting enough potassium in. So the higher that your potassium is, the lower rate that your risk of like heart disease goes. You know what I mean? Like, do you know, it's crazy, excuse me. Do you know how many people like die of like heart disease a day?
Like as much as car accidents or something, right? It's like number 2, number 1 or something.
Yeah. A person die of heart disease every 34 seconds. And then 6 seconds later, someone is having like a stroke or a heart attack. And then later on, 20 seconds later, someone is dying from cancer. And then if you start to see what we start to consume, most of it is literally like increasing the risk factors. Like in my family, no male on my mother's side survives to being over 60.
Oh my gosh.
What people have to like realize, like people like, people think middle age, for example, is 50. it's not that many centenarians in the United States. It's literally almost 100,000. Because people be like,
Centurions. He means people that live to be 100.
Yeah, for sure. So what actually happens is people are like, yeah, well, I know my grandmama, and I tell people, how many grandmamas I died in the process of trying to get there?
Yeah.
Like the age of people's like longevity right now is 76.4, and it's starting to actually decrease. So somebody that's 34.2 or 37 years old, they're in a middle life right now, don't even know. So and
here's the thing, I ain't trying to live to be 74 up in a home.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be healthy. You want to feel good. I don't care how much cheese you got. You can't do nothing with that money if you're sick. If you're up in the hospital and it starts today with, oh, I'm just pooping a couple times a week. Oh, I just have headaches. It's no big deal. No, I'm good. I'm good. I just have this. It's just, yeah, well, guess what? That damage is accumulating in your body. Just like any trauma. And that's why that's why all of these things are so important.
I love how you wrapped it all in there. Hey, I want to thank you guys for coming today on this show because this is hella affirmational for me. Personally, for sure. I had to assess myself. I have this information. I have this knowledge. I'm not suicidal. I want to be around for my children. So I have to figure out what I need to do next, right? So I started my sugar detox this week. Got real cranky, real crazy with it. Felt like I was like just a little bit out of it.
Sugar's more addictive than cocaine.
The sugar detox was wild for me. But you know, making it through that, and then the next, like I'm doing it months. So like 1 month I'm going no sugar. Next month is like no meat.
Oh my God! I'm so excited for you.
But because I follow you guys, I listen to you guys. You know what I'm saying? So for you guys to come here and speak this life and speak this affirmational stuff, it's like if you have the information and you have resources and people that are telling you, like listen to your body. And then
because your body will always tell you the answer.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I said, I can cite studies and data and research to back up everything I tell you. Don't listen to none of that. You go eat burgers for 30 days and then have some salads and tell me when you feel better. Yeah. Go ahead.
And also, when as you go through it, as you go through it, I think it's important to feel the uncomfortableness of it. It's because we always talk about the one aspect of it. We talk about light all the time, and some people get on me because I talk about the darkness. But you can't have one without the other. That's ma'at. That's duality. You got to have duality. And so I think it's important that you feel how uncomfortable it is. This is reciprocity, unfortunately. It is what it is. This is reciprocity. And so the thing that you did to get in that state, you also need to feel what it's like to go through it. And so you got to have both. You have to have duality. And so appreciate it. Appreciate the darkness. Appreciate the pain that you go through.
Healing my trauma,
for sure.
It's not, you seen those memes on Instagram? They're like, what people look like healing looks like, what it really is. And I've been there.
It's crazy.
I've done psychedelics with psychedelic assisted psychotherapist that was, certified in that, and healing my trauma and a bunch of stuff when my dad came up. I'm bawling my eyes out. I mean, it was healing. You can feel it, but there isn't a magic pill to any of this.
Exactly.
You have to do the work.
It's discipline.
Exactly.
You have to do the work. And I'm probably unique in that way. People always tell me you're so disciplined. I said, I'm not. You don't have to be disciplined. I strongly believe you shouldn't have no discipline or restriction around food. And you might disagree, and that's okay. If you're bodybuilding, that's different, but you don't need no discipline or restriction. You need motivation, and you need the information. Right now, we don't even have the information. But guess what? My friend almost died recently. Guess what? She motivated now. She ended up in the hospital almost with a stroke. So now she's motivated. And unfortunately, that's what it takes for most of us.
100%.
And that's their journey. And we can't make anyone do anything. I can't make my dad do nothing. You know what I mean? He had to do it on his own, but he did. He almost died at 69 years old.
Yeah.
And he's 80 now. He's doing a lot better.
Oh, that's
I will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no, we so I was wrapping it up.
I know.
Hey, appreciate you guys checking out this episode.
Definitely.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
For sure.
Make
Peace
sure
and
you
family.
follow all these wonderful people.
BeMoreRaw.com.
For sure.
Leo.
VictoryToHealth.com.
I don't have anything right now, but follow me on Instagram, Destroy and Rebuild Fitness. Follow me on that. And
Dope.
It's been amazing.
Thank you
Peace.
guys.
Peace and love. Thank you.
Amazing.